Commander's Log. Start date 150712. How's everyone doing tonight? I'm doing great. I am doing freaking awesome. It's July 12th. I'm here. I'm alive. I'm well. I'm kicking. And hey, in case y'all didn't know, it was 1 year ago today I recorded my first entry of Prosper. My 1 year anniversary. I am happy. I am stoked. I'm loving it. At one time I was looking forward to much more. But folks, I got to do this. This is going to be my last Commander's Log. It's been a great year. It has been so much fun. I am glad that I've had the opportunity to come into your homes, on your computers, TVs, phones, tablets, however you took in Prosper in my Commander's Log. I am honored to have been a part of that. And it was a good time in my life. It really was. We've had some good times together. You know, births, weddings, anniversaries, celebration of life. Well, not so much that. A few other things. You know, the good stuff. But then again, like anything else, there was always the bad stuff. Seattle losing the Super Bowl. Frickin' deaths. James Horner, Grace Lee Whitney, and of course Leonard Nimoy. These people were taken from us. Like I said, the good and the bad. We did it all here on Prosper. We did it all here, and I am so honored to have been a part of your lives for the last year, off and on. Thank you so much. But hey, you know what? It's 1 year, going out with a bang. Now, I may not be able to pull this off. God, I hope I can. Let me go ahead and replicate this week's beverage of choice. Yep, gonna celebrate what we had. Oh yeah, De Castellane. Champagne, that's right. This one, ooh, 18. That can't be right. I have no idea when this one was made, but it is 12%, 750 milliliters. So, my friends over at Beard Song of the Day don't think I can do this. I hope I can prove them wrong, but I have a feeling I might end up proving them right. Oh, unofficial sponsors for my final Commander's Log. Everybody that has sponsored me in the past, everybody that's got a page out there that, that has allowed me to recognize them. And I'm gonna run through them all later when I get to my final Commander's Logs additional greetings. For the love of God, do not overflow. There we go. The House Commander made this one for me. The 1 year glass. Didn't think I'd be able to pull something off for this. By the way, which reminds me, July 12th, 2005 was the day that the House Commander drove into my life, gave me her phone number, and then drove away because I made her I did something she wasn't ready for. She's like, "Oh, bye." And off she went. Called her a half hour later, and what can I say? The rest is history. So this first drink is to you, my dear. Thank you so much for everything you've done for me, for everything you do for me now, everything you will continue to do for me, and everything you will start doing for me. Everything you do for me. Thank you for being in my life. I drink to you, my dear. And I drink to all my Prosper fans. Ooh, I may have some trouble. But hey, we'll make it happen. Alright. Got to start this thing off the right way. Got to start it with the birthdays. From the 7th. Now, this gal, I knew her family growing up after high school and whatnot else. Kelsey Lynn Rayburn. Kelsey, my dear, how was your birthday? How are you? How's life treating you? I hope things are going well for you. I hope you're living life to the fullest every day, like I know you will. Kelsey, my dear, I drink to you. Next on the list, guy I actually went to high school with, graduated with him, Robert Seaton. Rob, dude, Robert, how you doing, man? How's life treating you? I hope things are going well for you. I really do. I'm looking forward to seeing you again sometime. Hey, Rob, to you, my friend. Happy birthday. Next birthday. Excuse me. I actually worked with her here. Earth Station, Okinawa. My dear friend, Renee Yu. Renee, sweetheart, how are you? How's life treating you in God's waiting room, a.k.a. Florida? Hope things are going well for you. I hope you're living life the best you can out there. I drink to you. It's going to happen a lot. Devoid of life's the brain cells of the average Sequest fan. Time for a top off. I might get to it. If not, I'm going to take it with me. All right. The final 2 birthdays from today. This guy I worked with at good old Germany. Deon Springfield. Deon, my friend, how is your birthday? Or how is your birthday, I should say. Excuse me. I hope life's going well for you. I hope things are going in the direction you want them to go, my friend. Hey, let us drink. I hope you drink something better than this. Better than champagne. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. Lord, I apologize. And the final birthday for this week goes to a gal that is about as close to being family without actually being family as you can get, if that makes any sense. I'm talking about you, Deborah Kirk, Debbie, Admiral, whatever you want to be called. I can't wait to see you in November. I cannot wait. I am excited about our upcoming trip. I am very excited. I cannot wait to see you again. I drink to you. All right. Birthdays. Recognized. Additional greetings. I want to recognize the fans that help the fans that helped put this together and that have helped spread the word and get me to over 300 likes on Facebook. Michelle Nix. It was her idea actually for the title Prosper. I put a post out a little over a year ago saying, hey, think about starting a YouTube show and I need some ideas for like a title. I'm thinking something short. Something short, you hear it, you know what it's going to be. She said, why not Prosper? I'm like, that might actually work. And she also gave me some ideas for stuff that, some of which, I'm going to be honest, I kind of moved away from. Excuse me. But the spirit is still there. I just found something to work better. That's all it was. But hey, Michelle, to you, thank you for your support over the last year. I drink. All right. Another fan that's been there since day one. Sharing the show, sharing the page, doing what she can. Renee Phillips. I actually met her back in 2013. I took a little trip with my father to Texas. I met her. A wonderful lady, a wonderful sweetheart. I hope I get the chance to see you again sometime. This is for you. Thank you for your continued support. And to all my fans, thank you for your continued support. Thank you for liking the Prosper Facebook page. This one's actually for Renee, but these are for all of you. All right, now, this next guy I met through Josh Baker over at Beer and Song of the Day. I'll get to him here in a minute. Willy Holt. Will, my friend, ever since you liked the Prosper Facebook page, you have been sharing the show and the page and all the posts I've been putting up. Willy, that is how it's done right there. To you, my friend, I definitely give you the Prosper salute. And drink something other than champagne for me. Actually, I hope you're drinking something other than champagne with me. But hey, you know what? Celebration. Gotta do what you gotta do. Oh man, I'll be able to do this next year. And another super fan that has liked the page, shared the show. He shares when he can. He's actually living up in mainland Japan. My friend, hang on. My friend that I have yet to meet in person, although I hope I do before I leave Earth Station Okinawa, George Seckman. George, my friend, thank you for everything. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for all the advice. Thanks for your fandom. Thanks for your loyalty. Thank you all the way around. This is for you. All right, got the super fans knocked out. Now, in no particular order, I'm going to go through and thank my unofficial sponsors for the last year. First one, you know it, Josh Baker and the folks over at Beer and Song of the Day. Now, it's funny, Josh, I may have given you a Facebook page, which has over 2,000 likes now, which, congratulations, by the way. Anyway, I may have given you a Facebook page, but if it weren't for you, and your kind words of encouragement and your support of my efforts here, Prosper would not have happened. Prosper might have had one episode last year, and I'd have called it quits. You're always there. You're always there for me. You're a good one to bounce ideas off of. You and I actually collaborate a lot, and what the hell. The Prosper salute to you. Love Dr. Style as you would do. No, I'm not doing that again. That doesn't work. Anyway, the Prosper salute to you. And have some beer. And celebrate with me on my 1-year anniversary. She's empty again. Alright. Another sponsor whom I met online through Josh. I have yet to meet him in person, and right now, the way it looks, I may not meet him in person at all, although I'm hoping it does happen someday. Talking about Wally Fortier over at Wally's Aluminum Shaping Process. Don't worry, everybody. I'm going to include links to all the pages in the post. That way, y'all can go and follow these guys, follow their pages and everything, and show them the love that y'all have showed me by hitting the like button. No, Wally, he is a Denver Broncos fan. I have much respect for that. You guys took my quarterback, but hey, if we hadn't let him go, you wouldn't have taken him. Honestly, my friend, it is what it is. I'm not going to sit here and... It's too early to talk football. It really is too early to talk football, even though I got that guy up. Hey, you know what? It's my show, my set. I'll do what I want. I drink to you, Wally. I look forward to meeting you someday. I really do. Looking forward to meeting you, having some brewskis with you, hanging out. Hell, maybe even doing some Prosper. If I was still doing a show. Alright. My next sponsor, Cat Sky. Now, when I was first starting out, I had, by the time she was my sponsor, by the time she sponsored an episode, I had maybe 16 likes. 16 likes on the Facebook page. Or was it 24? I don't know. Either way, you, my dear, you quadrupled that in 16 hours. There's where the 16 came from. I had 24 likes on the page, and by the time I went to bed and woke up the next morning, I was pushing 100. You quadrupled my fan base in 16 hours. Sorry, had to adjust a little bit. But Kat, to you, my dear, thank you for your support. Thank you for your encouragement. Thank you for your fandom. I might want to slow down. Oh, excuse me. But no, thank you. Thank you for everything you've done. I owe you a debt of gratitude, my dear. Hey, while I'm thinking about it, Prosper fans, hit up Cat Sky. Yeah, hit up Cat Sky from the show post. Hit the page, go hit like, hit share. That way your friends can like and share the page. Last time I checked, she was at 1,500 some likes. Her goal is to get to 2,000 likes in 2 more days. Well, 2 more days for me. But no. Like her page. Share her page. She is a sweetheart. And I'm going to go ahead and tell this one. But when Leonard passed away, you were one of the ones that broke the news. Between you and Josh, you two broke the news. And that was a sad day for us. That was a sad day for Star Trek fans. We're not, I'm going to go ahead and say it, but we are not going to recover. That one just hit too close to home. That one did. That one really did. And yeah, that one hit too close to home. That it is what it is. But Spock did say it best. Spock said it best. He said, "Don't grieve. It is illogical." And I am not going to grieve here. I'm not grieving for Leonard Nimoy here. I am not. We should remember him. We should remember his life and the impact he had on us, as well as all the others that have gone before us, both from Star Trek and in our personal lives. But hey, Kat, let's drink. Let's get past this. Let's drink. All right. Next up on the list, Christine Hope, Captain Christine Hope. And while I'm thinking about it, I got to give a shout out to the Live Long and Prosper Facebook page, inspiring all around the world for peace and long life. Keep in mind, your mind matter. Live long and prosper. A sentiment to live by. Definitely. Faux show. Yes, I did use that. Faux show. I hope I used it correctly. I really do. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I said that. For sure, those are words to live by and a sentiment to live by. She also has her own kind of personal Star Trek page, if you will. Hit her up, Trek Lady C. I'm gonna tag all the sponsors up above. Trek Lady C. Hit her up, give her some likes, share the page. That way your friends can like the page as well and share it. But no, definitely, good person. She's good people. I drink to her. I drink to you, Christine. Thank you for your support. All right, next up on the list, this is another gal. She helped me get to 250 likes on Facebook. Jennifer Conley. She is a model. Or I think you're an amateur model. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. But please correct me on that if I am wrong. I know her through Josh Baker, and she even got a Prosper t-shirt. Between her modeling page, Jen Conley, and her husband's business page, Rebel Customs, got a t-shirt from her. I have featured them as an unofficial sponsor before. From all I've dealt with you and your husband seem to be good people. Your husband better be good people. Brother Mason, believe it or not, he'd better be good people. But hey, you know what, you two? Thank you so much. Thank you for your continued support. And I will continue to support you the best I can. All right. The last 3 shout-outs for unofficial sponsors. David Duncan, Aaron O'Brien, Fayth Hertzberg. You 3 run the Star Trek podcast Synthaholics. Yes, as you're probably thinking right now, let's talk more Synthahol. You're right, but at the same time, this is my thing. This is me. I gotta plug these people, happy birthday, how you doing, all that good stuff. But to you three put out one hell of a good podcast. Keep it up. I'm looking forward to Klingons Part 2, if that's what you're going to call it. I'm also looking forward to Fayth coming back to the podcast. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say it. Your podcast wasn't the same without Fayth. It just wasn't. But hey, from what I understand, her comm system's back online. She just got done drinking with Klingons, which I want to hear about. I really do. I can't wait for this one. But hey, to you three, thank you for your support of me. I will be happy to support you later on as I can. All right, let me think. Yeah, that's it. Oh, wait. I lied. One more. I have one more sponsor. She sponsored my show once back on Stardate 150317, somewhere in that neighborhood. Might have been 16, might have been 18. All I know is that it was my de facto St. Patrick's Day show. The lovely Pistol Marie. She has her own YouTube show, Pistol's Place. Excuse me. Hit it up. Hit up the page. Hit up her show. Subscribe to her on YouTube. Subscribe to Josh on YouTube. But what Pistol does is, as a professional bartender, she knows how to make a lot of drinks. Okay? And what she does is she will go on her quick show, maybe 10, 15 minutes tops. She will go on her show. She will share a recipe. She will show you how to make it, and she will even enjoy it with you. She's also a model. I'm going to tag all her pages. I'm going to tag all my sponsors' pages up there. Hit them up. Check them out. Give them some love with that like button. And turn around, share the pages, because this is how social media is supposed to work. Good people bringing good people together to help other good people. That is a mantra I learned from Beer and Song of the Day. That is a mantra that I have tried to promote on Prosper. And that is a mantra I'm also going to try to promote in my personal life. Pistol, my dear, thank you very much for your love and support. And I drink to you. Did it again. I'm going to be lucky if I don't have to go to waste extraction after this. Folks, I'm going to warn you now. I will not be sober after this. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and admit it. I might not be able to finish it. I'm plugging along. I'm doing the best I can. But hey, we're at the 23-minute mark of my final Commander's log. Let's plug on, shall we? There was a poll on StarTrek.com this past week. The poll asked, which alien language would you want to learn? Out of the over 9,800 people that voted, here is how everyone voted. The number one language everybody wanted to learn? Klingon, of course. Or Klingoni, however you want to call it. 4,463 people said, yeah, I want to learn Klingon. About 45% of everybody that voted. Next up, Vulcan. I actually think Vulcan was the language I picked. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I honestly do think I picked Vulcan. I was one of 3,623 people that said Vulcan, 37% of the poll. And then we just plummeted from there. Like, the next language everyone said they wanted to learn. Bajoran. 600 people actually said, I want to learn Bajoran, for crying out loud. That was 6%. Does this one even count? 429 people said they want to learn Borg. That's not hard. We are the Borg. Lower your shields and surrender your ships. Your culture will adapt to service us. Resistance is futile. See? I know it. 4% of y'all said I want to learn Borg, 429%. But that makes about as much sense as wiping before you poop, as Larry the Cable Guy would say. Anyway, let's move on. The next language people said they wanted to learn. Excuse me. The next language was Rihansu. What the hell is that? That's Romulan. That's the proper name for Romulan. 247 people said they want to learn Rihansu. About 3% of people who voted. 213 people said they wanted to learn Ferengi. 191 said they wanted to learn Andori, and only 85 people said they want to learn Orion. So those are your language choices. This week's poll asked the question, which doctor do you like? Which doctor do you like? I want to say I voted for the Doctor, the Emergency Medical Hologram, Star Trek Voyager. Because, hey, he appealed to me. He's like Data from the Next Generation. He's a technological-based entity. I say entity because he's not exactly a life form. As a hologram, you can't exactly be a life form. He's a technologically based entity trying to fit in with humanoid culture. So yeah, that is that. Let's see here. Poll. Done. This week in Trek history. I've only got 4. Excuse me. I've only got 4 events of significance. They're all birthdays. July 6th, 1951. A gentleman named Rick Sternbuck was born. He is 64 years old as of the 6th. He was the production designer of Star Trek The Motion Picture, The Next Generation, the first 2 seasons of Deep Space Nine, Star Trek Voyager, and Star Trek Nemesis. Alright. Anybody that knows Star Trek music should know this next name. Jay Chataway. He was, after Gene Roddenberry fired Ron Jones in the middle of the 4th season, I think it was the 4th season, where Ron Jones finally got the bucket. The higher-ups hired Jay. And he stuck around all the way through The Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Enterprise, although I don't think he did any music for the movies. I don't think he did any music for the Next Generation movies. I think Dennis McCarthy was responsible for that. Could be wrong. Not perfect. Don't claim to be. If I was perfect, you think I'd be here? Anyway, moving on. July 9th, 1978. Oh, where's my Enterprise fans at? Gotta give those guys some love. I'm one myself. I myself am an Enterprise fan. But the lovely Linda Park turned 37 on the 9th. And alright, this one has to be done. Even though the 13th is next week, even though the 13th would have been covered on next week's episode, gotta give some love. Sir Patrick Stewart, make it so, number 1. T. Earl Grey, hot. Or, I am Locutus of Borg. Gotta give it up, Sir Patrick Stewart. Turns 75 on the 13th. Tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. Those are your birthdays for this week in Trek history. Let's talk about this featured episode. Hey, it's the 1-year anniversary. I must do something that is well known. It had to be done. It would have been a crime not to do it. This episode, The Trouble with Tribbles, probably the most well-known episode of Star Trek, period. All the series. This one was their first attempt at comedy. I am going to say it paid off tenfold. It was that good. Excuse me. Before I go on. Alright, let's talk some Trek. A dispute over control of a planet brings the Enterprise to a space station, where they must deal with Klingons, edgy Federation officials, and a previously unknown species of small, unbearably cute, voraciously hungry, and rapidly multiplying furry creatures. Oh, damn, I knew I forgot something. There he is. There he is. You know what? If you're going to do The Trouble with Tribbles, no. Got to bring yours out. If you were going to do The Trouble with Tribbles, you must have a Tribble. I actually picked this up last year at Comic-Con. Best $10 I ever spent. I don't know if you can hear it. Oh, now you don't want to do anything. Come on. Yep, it works. It's a working Tribble, folks. All right. Let us go behind the scenes. Folks, I'm going to dog on him for a second, but I had a beer and song of the day moment. You know what? It happens. Just like crap. But hey, nobody's perfect. I already told you what I'd be doing if I were perfect, which I'm not, so, it is what it is. Excuse me. The script, one of Star Trek's most popular, was David Gerrold's first professional sale ever. His working title for the episode was A Fuzzy Thing Happened to Me. Writer-producer Gene Kuhn did heavy rewrites on the final version of the script. While the episode was in production, Gene Roddenberry noticed that the story was familiar to Robert Heinlein's novel, The Rolling Stones, which featured the Martian flat cats. Too late, he called Heinlein to apologize and avoid a possible lawsuit. Heinlein was very understanding and was satisfied with a simple mea culpa by Roddenberry, whatever the hell that is. According to B.O. Trimble, the story for this episode is based upon the short story Pigs is Pigs. Good story. Hey, there you go. Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, no, I'm sorry. There you go. The line in which Spock says that Kirk heard what Barris said, but could not believe his ears, was lifted directly from a Mad Magazine spoof of Star Trek titled Star Blech that had just been published. That's funny. Chekhov quips that Scotch whiskey was invented by a little old lady from Leningrad. That Russian city, originally St. Petersburg, had its name changed to honor Vladimir Lenin, leader of the Communist Revolution in 1917. The name St. Petersburg was restored in 1991 after the breakup of the USSR. Chekhov's scripted reference to Leningrad was apt for 1967 when the episode was made. It suggests that in the 23rd century, the name had come back into use, or that the whiskey was invented during the time it was called Leningrad. In reality, name aside, the first recorded reference to Scotch comes from 1495, while St. Petersburg, Leningrad was not founded until 1703. The episode I Mud and Star Trek IV The Voyage Home also refer to Leningrad. Really? I'm going to have to double check that Star Trek IV reference. Okay. Let's give you a home for right now. There you go. Maybe. This is going to be fun. Here, I'll hold you. I'm sorry. Okay. George Takei, hang on. Folks, this is going to be a long one. The last Commander's log, so it's got to be epic. George Takei does not appear in this episode. For much of the second season, he was filming The Green Berets. Many scenes written for Takei were switched over to Walter Koenig. And I'm going to take a little tangent here real quick. I just recently watched the documentary To Be Takei. Hey, I had a typhoon over the week. I had a typhoon this last week. You know, it is what it is. I had time. Anyway, I watched that documentary. I saw where Takei had actually passed along a story where John Wayne, get this, John Wayne called him Captain Sulu. Takei piped up and said, actually, on Star Trek, I portray Lieutenant Sulu. He said, well, in this movie, you're portraying an army captain. So guess what? I'm calling you Captain Sulu. I paraphrased a little bit. I got a little bit of this going in my system, and it's been a few days. I've slept since then. You know what? But hey, at the same time, it was an interesting story that George passed along. All right, I got that out of my system. I wanted to share that with you guys. I thought that was a nice little tidbit. William Shatner recalled the great enjoyment all the cast had filming this episode. Excuse me. The trouble we had with Tribbles was to keep your straight face. It was just a lot of fun, and I believe it. That was a fun episode. That is actually one of the episodes that my wife, that the house commander here, anytime I mention Star Trek, she brings that one up. It's like, ooh, the Tribbles. I'm like, yep, that's one of them. Good on her. Hey, I'm trying. I'm doing the best I can. It is what it is. Michael Pataki is another actor who guested in 2 series of Star Trek, appearing as Karnak. Oh, shit, I skipped one. Appearing as Karnas in the Next Generation episode Too Short a Season. Nope. Yeah, I did skip one, but not about that. Guy Raymond, who played the bartender on K7, also played a bartender in beer commercials during the 60s, in which he commented on the strange occurrences in his bar. Really? You're drinking beer and you own a bar? What the hell? Oh, pardon my language. I'll set you right here. Oh, yeah, you're not going anywhere. Some of the extras in the bar are wearing turtleneck uniforms from The Cage and Where No Man Has Gone Before. Another couple of extras are wearing colonist jumpsuits from The Devil in the Dark. The gentleman who seems to be enjoying watching the fight and another man are wearing Finnegan's and his stunt double's uniforms from Shore Leave. And yet another one is wearing the uniform of the Antares worn by Rammert or Tom Nellis in Charlie X. A woman is wearing Aurelian Kirk's costume from Operation Annihilate. See, back in the early days, Star Trek would like to recycle a lot of things. And when I say Star Trek, I refer to the saga. I refer to the entire franchise. Not just a specific series. Ed Reimers. It's a soft creature that makes wonderful noises. I can't help but fall in love with it. Alright, where was I? Ed Reimers, who plays Admiral Fitzpatrick, was the TV spokesman for Allstate Insurance in the 1960s. I actually saw this. Hold on, don't beat me to it. In a funny sequence from the blooper reel, he catches a Tribble thrown at him from off stage and proffering it to the camera says, "Oh, and Captain, you're in good hands with Tribbles." A play on the Allstate motto, "You're in good hands with Allstate." So remember that. You're in good hands with Tribbles. William Schallert later guest starred as Varani in the Deep Space Nine episode Sanctuary. You know, I didn't like him in this episode. I didn't like him. He was a little pencil neck, paper pusher, pain in the butt. But you know what? Believe it or not, I liked him in Sanctuary. I don't know if it was time or if it was the way the characters were written or, like I said, it was just Schallert's aging process. But he seemed more laid back in Deep Space Nine. That's kind of obvious, but hey, it is what it is. James Doohan insisted on doing his own stunts in the barroom brawl. Jay Jones only dubbed for him in a few brief fight scenes. Huh. I don't remember that. I'll have to go back and watch it again. Alright. This is one of the few episodes in which Doohan's missing right finger, lost due to injuries sustained during the invasion of Normandy in World War II, is apparent. It can also be noticed as he carries a large bundle of Tribbles to Captain Kirk, complaining that they have infested engineering. That's true. That's true. I remember seeing that. This is one of the few times in the series that Scott and Chekhov have a conversation with one another. Excuse me. I apologize. However, in Friday's Child, when Scott remarks, "Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me," Chekhov quips that the saying was invented in Russia. I actually believe in that saying. Along with Kirk, they would be featured together in Star Trek Generations. I got something else on that one. But if I were doing the show again, I would... You know what? Screw it. The Star Trek The Next Generation episode Relics was basically a chance to bring an original series character to the Next Generation. They say, you know what? Screw it. Let's do Scotty. Later on, when they made Star Trek Generations, they cast Scotty. In spite of the fact that Relics was made before Generations. In Generations, Scotty recalled Captain Kirk being killed. Or being killed, as it were. However, in Relics, once he's rescued, Scotty makes the comment, "I'll bet Jim Kirk himself pulled the old girl out of mothballs to come looking for me." Remember that 0.003% signal degradation? I think that might have screwed with his memory, for lack of a better term. Alright, let's move on. Paul Baxley is credited as Ensign Freeman, but is wearing lieutenant stripes, as pointed out in the Deep Space Nine episode, Trials and Tribulations, when Miles O'Brien mistakes Freeman for Captain Kirk and Julian Bashir questions his rank insignia. You know, it's a good thing I brought that one up. I'll tell you why here in a second. William Campbell and Charlie Brill both reprised their roles in Star Trek Deep Space Nine more than 25 years later. Campbell in Blood Oath, another good episode, and Brill in Trials and Tribulations. There's a funny story about that one. Hopefully I'll be able to get to it later. Alright, here we go. Remember that number? You remember that number Spock rattled off when he was talking about how many tribbles were on the station in 3 days? Well, here it is. Spock's estimate of how many tribbles there are in 3 days, dead or alive, starting with one tribble producing a litter of 10 every 12 hours, is exactly correct. Assuming that every tribble always has a litter of 10. Tribble reproduction is exponential, starting when one tribble makes 10. In 12 hours, the number is 11. 12 hours later, each of the 11 tribbles produces 10, making the count 110 babies. Include the original 11 tribbles, and the total is 121. The formula for tribble reproduction is x equals 11 exponential n over 12, where x is the total and n is the number of hours. Given 3 days, which is 72 hours, the final result becomes 11 to the 6th power, which equals exactly 1,771,561. Are you spayed or neutered? I hope so. I don't want 1,771,561 of you little bastards running around my house. Oh, no. It's okay. Alright. During the production of the buried and tribble scene, it took up to 8 takes, which was a considerable number back then, to get the avalanche of tribbles to fall just right. Gerald wrote in The Trouble with Tribbles, "If Captain Kirk looks just a little harried in that shot, it's not accidental. Having tribbles dropped on you 8 times in one day is not a happy experience. They must use one of the later takes." The Deep Space Nine episode Trials and Tribulations would later establish that the continuously falling tribbles hitting Kirk were in fact thrown by Benjamin Sisko and Jadzia Dax, frantically searching for the bomb placed by the future Darwin. In reality, the tribbles kept falling out of the hatch because members of the production crew had no direct line of sight with William Shatner during the filming of the scene and could not tell when there were enough tribbles. A barrier in the set separated them from the storage compartment, which was filled with prop tribbles. In order to set up the avalanche scene, crew members kept throwing tribbles over the wall to ensure that the bin remained as full as possible. When the compartment was empty, these tribbles fell onto Shatner's head as the crew tossed them one by one. Near the end of the scene, a perplexed Shatner, already chest deep in tribbles, can clearly be seen turning his head towards the wall behind him, wondering when the prop men will stop. That explains a few things. Everything makes sense after that. Hua Cheng designed the original tribbles. Hundreds were sewn together during production, using pieces of extra-long rolls of carpet. Some of them had mechanical toys placed in them so they could walk around. Hang on. I'm going to stop right there for just a second. This little guy that I'm giving a proctological exam to, there's one of these in him. It won't make him walk around, but it'll make him gyrate and make noise. Come on. Alright, whatever. Go ahead, prove me wrong. You son of a bitch. Nah, I'm kidding. Alright. The original Tribbles became sought-after collector's items and quickly disappeared from the prop department. Excuse me. According to Gerald, 500 Tribbles were constructed for the episode, and the Tribble maker, Jacqueline Kumari, that's a funny spelling, was paid $350 US. I happen to know that was a lot of money back then. According to David Gerald, the world of Star Trek, Tribbles would be around the set for some time afterwards, allowing for occurrences such as what was mentioned earlier or popping up in various other places, as well as for some months after the production of the episode. Excuse me. Sound effects editor Douglas Grinstaff combined altered dove coos, screech owl cries, and emptying balloons to create the Tribble sounds. Okay. Where the hell was the emptying balloons at, I wonder? Anyway. The Enterprise miniature seen out of Lurie's window doesn't move, but if it was orbiting at the same speed the station was rotating, this would make sense. One just has to think outside the box, I guess. Or in this case, outside the station. See what I did there? The miniature is actually one of the plastic model kits that AMT was selling at the time. In the 1970s, AMT produced a model of the K-7 space station itself, complete with a tiny Enterprise. SCTV, whatever the hell that is, blew up a Klingon ship with phaser blasts from one of the K-7 models in a low-budget effects spoof of The Empire Strikes Back in 1981. Okay. Footage of K-7 was recycled in the Ultimate Computer. Duh, we figured that one out. According to Michael and Denise Okuda's text commentary on this episode for the second season DVD set, the last fresh footage of the Enterprise was done for this episode. In every episode to follow, the shots of the ship were all stock footage. It is possible that the last of the footage of the Enterprise was filmed during this production of this episode, as it is true that they did not film any shots of the Enterprise after Season 2. But, there will be 5 more episodes going by production order that have previously unseen shots of the Enterprise. Journey to Babel, which I was originally going to cover, The Gamesters of Triskelion, The Enterprise, The Immunity Syndrome, The Ultimate Computer, and That Which Survives all have new shots of the Enterprise. Okay, now I see why I was going to call it the Enterprise Syndrome. See what I did there? Alright. How far am I into this? 48 minutes. Holy crap. Sorry, folks. This is going to be a long one. The bar set, including the bartender's costume, is recycled from Court Martial, with slight modifications, mostly in decoration. Star Trek returned to the events of this episode in the Deep Space Nine episode Trials and Tribulations to celebrate the franchise's 30th anniversary. You know what? I show my wife that episode almost every time. Almost every time I get a chance to. And, hang on. Crap, I don't know where it is. Alright, folks. I gotta apologize. I don't know where the picture is, but if you send me a private message, I will show you something that I had done. Everything fits actually, between me and Josh Baker, we have that picture. Everything fits perfectly in the picture that I had done some time ago. You know what? Screw it. I'll go ahead and tell you. A friend of mine, Ray Vicchetti, good man, I've known him for a while, for a New Jersey man. I'm kidding. I'm busting your chops. He's good with Photoshop. He was able to take a picture of my head and put it on Captain Sisko's body in the episode Trials and Tribulations, in which the original scene was taken from Mirror Mirror, and to make it look like I met Captain Kirk. You know what? Josh Baker, I'm willing to bet, is going to show off that picture when he features me as Hunk of the Day today on his episode of Beer and Song of the Day. I just about guarantee it. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It is what it is. Excuse me. All right, let's move on. More Troubles is the animated series sequel to this episode. Did you know Star Trek made an animated series? Did you also know that the animated series was the first Star Trek series to win an Emmy? Yes, it was. Look it up. It was. I swear. If I'm lying, I'm dying. All right. Tribbles were seen in the bar scene, wherein McCoy is apprehended by Federation security, being petted by a couple patronizing the establishment on an adjacent table in Star Trek III: The Search for Spock. Tribbles also showed up in the J.J. Abrams reboot of Star Trek in 2009. Scotty had one in a cage on Delta Vega. Memory Alpha didn't get that one, did they? Nope. I got something from Memory Alpha. Hey kids, look, a deer! Probably the last Commander's Log I'll do that in. Alright, moving on. No, I'm sorry. Alright. Bantam Books published a series of novelizations called Photo Novels, in which took photographic stills from actual episodes and arranged word balloons and text over them to create a comic book formatted story. The third installment was an adaptation of this episode. This was a good episode to do that for. The Organian Peace Treaty mentioned by Chekhov in the teaser is a reference back to the first season episode Errand of Mercy. Errand of Mercy featured Captain Kor, who was originally supposed to be featured in this episode, but as John Colicos? Is that how you pronounce it? Is that how you would have pronounced it if you were still alive? Anyway, which was supposed to originally feature Kor, but as he was not available, William Campbell was cast as Koloth. I don't think Memory Alpha got that one, but I remember reading that somewhere. I swear in my heart, I remember reading that one somewhere. Yes, folks, I am not soba, as Josh would say. All right. Let me scroll down a little bit. All right. Here's a little funny anecdote for you. William Campbell, who played Koloth in this episode, recalled that after this episode was aired, his neighbor's son consequently addressed his wife as Mrs. Klingon. Cute kid. You know what? I love it. I don't care. I love it. The book Star Trek 101 by Terry J. Erdman and Paula M. Block lists this episode as one of the 10 essential episodes from the original series. You know what? I believe that shit. Ew. Hope this is my last glass. I don't know if I can take much more of this. There we go. But you know what? As Dave Chappelle once said when he was impersonating Rick James, that's a celebration! Blank. I'll leave it at that. And honestly, you know what? Hang on. I got some remastered information. Only because this ties into Trials and Tribulations. Excuse me. The Trouble with Tribbles was the 9th episode of the remastered version of the original series to air. It premiered in syndication on the weekend of 4 November 2006 and featured significantly enhanced shots of the K-7 space station, now including the orbiting D-7 class IKS Groth. The Enterprise can now be seen more often from Lurie's office, moving towards the left side of the window as it orbits K-7. The remastered episode is marked by the introduction of a revised digital model of the Enterprise, allowing for more detailed and accurate shots of the ship to be created. None of the special effects from the Deep Space Nine tribute episode was included in the remastered version. Personally, I call foul on that one. I call foul, and here's why. The crew of Deep Space Nine went back in time to the events of this episode. Okay? So everything we saw in Trials and Tribulations was actually supposed to happen during this episode. Now, why the producers, when they redid this, why they didn't just incorporate those scenes and save time and money, I don't know. You know what? I can't believe I'm getting ready to do this to a producer of Star Trek. Hey kids, look, a deer! I wish you'd have thought that one through. I really, really, really do. Alright, let's move on. Furthermore, the Groth's design is different from the Greg Jean model seen in the Deep Space Nine episode. Idiot. That ship is greener with an avian pattern on it, where this version of the Klingon ship is gray and does not bear that pattern, bringing it more in line with the TOS counterparts. Okay, I understand that one. I'm going to give you a pass on that one because I understand it makes sense. That one flows. But the other stuff, come on. Freaking idiot. Alright, and the last fact, well, I got two after this. Coincidentally, the episode that aired after this was Mirror Mirror. Scenes from both episodes were used in the episode Trials and Tribulations, which goes back to that picture I was telling you about. And you know what? That actually covered both of them, so I'm good. Alright, that was the last fact I have. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a little bit of a confession for you. Actually, no, scratch that. I have a message from Beer and Song of the Day for you. You know what, Hank? Shut up. I'm calling you Hank right now. Just lay there and get gorged, okay? Just lay there and get gorged. Alright, I have a tribute. I want you all to hear this.
Commander Justin Dimmitt of Prosper, I want to be the first to congratulate you for your July 12th anniversary, one-year edition of Prosper, a magnificent show, and a spinoff of Beer and Song of the Day, which was created by you. The page was created by you, the Facebook page. Without you, I would never have the success that I have today as the Love Doctor, the Reverend Dr. B of Beer and Song of the Day. I have grown to over 2,000 followers. You, my friend, I'm proud of your one-year anniversary on the 12th. Congratulations. Over 300 followers and growing immensely. And I think you, my friend, are worthy. Effective July 18th. You, my friend, congratulations. You will now forever be known as Captain Justin Dimmitt of Prosper. Congratulations. I give you the Love Doctor salute. Oh, hell yeah! Captain Dimmitt. Wicked awesome.
Lieutenant Commander Love Dr. Baker. I am not soba, as you would say. Lieutenant Commander Love Dr. Baker over at Beer and Song of the Day. As you give me the Love Doctor salute, I return to you the Prosper salute. And I thank you for your anniversary greeting. Folks, you thought I was done, didn't you? Hang on. This next song, a rarity here on Prosper, is going to explain everything.
Okay, fellas, let's do it. Captain, you join me?
Devoid of life, so the brain cells the ever Sequest fan.
Out of the tree of life, I just picked me a plum. You came along and everything started
Okay, I'll quit.
to hurt.
That's right.
Still, it's a real good bet. The best
That's
is
right.
yet to come.
James Darren, and Avery Brooks.
The best is yet
Do it.
to come.
Right here.
Babe, won't it be fine?
The best is yet to come.
You think you've seen the sun, but you ain't seen it shine.
Sorry, had to. Folks, it was fun. It was fun kind of playing a little joke on you for my 1-year anniversary. If anybody was actually upset about this, I want to go ahead and sincerely apologize to you from the bottom of my black heart. But no, for my 1 year, I wanted to do something epic, something that not even those idiots over at Beer and Song of the Day or whatever thought to do. Actually, no, I take that back. Beer and Song of the Day, you guys aren't idiots because I'm still unofficially part of y'all. You know what? I take that back. You can give me a GFY if you want to. I don't care. You know what? Sorry, Prosper fans. I wanted to pull a fast one and see if I can get away with it. You know what? Avery's going to say it best right here.
The best is yet to come.
That's right, folks. The best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. Come the day of mine. Alright, I know I'm not sober. I don't sing the best when I'm not sober. If I offended anybody's ears, I apologize. But hey, you know what? For my 1 year, I wanted to do something epic. I really did. And for anybody that actually thought this was the end, I'm sorry. You got a lot more of me to come around. Folks, believe it or not, it's dead, Jim. That's right. It's dead. I managed to kill a bottle of champagne in right around an hour. Beer and Song of the Day, I challenge you to do better. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for the last year of having me on your tablets, on your laptops, on your phones. Even if you have something like Apple TV, thank you for watching me there if you did. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to make like the Enterprise and warp out. Everybody take care. Have an awesome night or day. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, and if you do, name it after me. Don't drink and drive because, well, you might spill your drink. More importantly, you might kill yourself or somebody else. And drinking and driving is dumber than being a Sequest fan. And what's dumber than that is rooting for those cheating bastards like Tom. Giselle won't let me go to the Pro Bowl, and all those footballs are heavy with all that air in it. Brady, men slapping women, racism, animal abuse, fake friends, people who welch on bets, or anyone who is a member of, supports, or defends the Westboro Baptist Church, who tried to picket Leonard Nimoy's funeral but couldn't find it. I still, almost 4 months later, think that is effing hilarious. Things like that are highly illogical, and I will not make time for them. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for the last year. I look forward to having many more with you. And, as always, live long and prosper.